Welcome to episode 55 of My Views Extended. I'm your host, Nadia, and thank you so much for joining me this week. You can listen to My Views Extended, the podcast, at nadiadanelle.com or on YouTube, where closed captioning is available. And I'm finally correctly in iTunes, and I'll leave a link directly to the iTunes store so you can listen there. My YouTube channel name is Nadia Donella, NADIADONELLA. Your views, shares, and likes are very much appreciated. Sign up is free for the YouTube channel and it takes just a couple minutes. And iTunes, if you already have it downloaded onto your device or your computer, you just go there, click subscribe, and if you would so kindly take a minute to rate and or leave a comment on the iTunes page, that is something that would help me in many ways. If you have any questions, you can contact me at myviewsextended@gmail.com and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And as always, I will leave links to all social media sites in the show notes and description area. This past weekend, I watched the inauguration of Donald Trump, and well, there's really not much to say. I think everything that I wanted to say has been said, and even things that I didn't want to say or didn't agree with, which is cool, has been said. He's in power officially, so, at least currently there's not much that can be done. Although, like I said before, I don't think that he will make 2 years, let alone the full 4 years. I really do believe that he's going to bow out or he will get impeached. And by bow out, I mean he's leaving himself in his business just enough so, there will be some sort of, quote, mess up, unquote, and that will be one of his many ways out of the office. I still think he's in disbelief that he actually made it, and I don't know if he realizes yet how much, even though he's a businessman, I don't think that he realizes how much work and pressure and stress there is on it. That's a different kind of magnifying glass, being a businessman who has a reality show versus being the president of the United States and the citizens watching you and the rest of the world watching you. That's just a different category. Yeah. It should be interesting. I think his kids are probably more excited. His eldest children, the first 3, are definitely more excited about him being there than he is. Anyway. Oh yeah, and of course there's the pleading ignorance, or, when it comes to his ways of getting out of there, pleading ignorance or flat out saying he knows nothing of what is going on or what has gone on and what the powers that be are talking about. So yeah, 2 years. I give him 2 years. If he makes 4 years, that'll be interesting, but I don't think it'll be 4 years. And all of this, of course, is my opinion. And Melania's outfit was beautiful. The color was beautiful. The style was beautiful. I know a lot of people are saying that she copied Jackie O's style, and so what if she did? Jackie O is a dapper dresser. Yeah, fashion will always recycle itself, and that's okay. Well, the good fashion, in my opinion, what is the good fashion anyway? Melania's job as a trophy wife is to look pretty and put together good dinners and functions. So, let her have the fashion. It's not that big of a deal. I'm sure she's probably even more surprised than her husband that he is now the president of the United States. There was also a Vancouver Women's March / anti-Trump march in solidarity with the March Against Trump against the US, and many other countries participated, along with Canada, this past weekend. And I did not go for 2 main reasons. One was I do not like large crowds, although I am working on that, but me and large crowds we don't mix. And I knew about it too late. Literally, I heard rumblings about it in the morning. And by the time I sat down and had my coffee and my breakfast and was deciding, what I was going to do for the day, it was like, oh, yeah, that's too late. By the time I got to somewhere downtown Vancouver, wherever it was, it would have been half over. But I'm okay with not going. I'm kind of glad that I listened to myself and that I didn't go, because finding out later on that evening and the next day that there was the exclusion of 2 huge groups that the main march was about, 2 marginalized groups, and that was the Black Lives Matter and the LGBTQ community of the Vancouver, BC area. And 2 groups of many, of course, there are many other groups, but 2 groups that Trump and or his administration has been against from the beginning of the campaign, well, even before the campaign and definitely until today. Both of these groups were left out of the march, like, and when it comes to leadership and speaking at the march, and both groups were more than willing to be a participant in it. And the Vancouver Women's March group seems to be, so far, what they're showing or not showing on their social media pages, they seem to be doing a lot of backpedaling, or it's just a lot of backpedaling and trying to cover their butts. But I'm not really surprised that these other minority groups were left out. I'm sure many of you are not surprised either. And when it comes to groups being left out, of course, there were no, at least that I know of, but I'm pretty sure there are no representatives from the Aboriginal community of the Vancouver area. When it comes to these women's marches, if you're not Caucasian, it's pretty much the norm that every other group is left out. If you're not Caucasian, if you're not middle class, upper class, the norm, and I use norm in quotes, and history has shown that to be true. And that's kind of disappointing, so I'm glad that I didn't end up going and supporting that, because Trump has shown his disdain for Black Lives Matter, for Black people in general, for women in general, for the LGBT community in general. For us not to be a part of it, that's kind of ludicrous. It doesn't make any sense. The Black Lives Matter, the Vancouver branch, has been more than open and willing. And, anyway, yeah, history is repeating itself. That's all I have to say about that for now. And Trump, he's getting his pen ready, signatures ready, and they're signing away as of Monday. And I know that over the next several months, some other things are going to be changed and signed away or signed into or reinstated. Trump was withdrawn from the Trans-Pacific Partnership trade deal, and this deal aims to deepen economic ties between these nations. Canada is included in that. There's many nations included, slashing tariffs and fostering trade to boost growth. He has also reinstated the Mexico City policy, or the global gag rule, which stipulates that non-U.S. non-governmental organizations receiving U.S. family planning funding cannot inform the public or educate their government on the need to make safe abortions available, provide legal abortion services, or provide advice on where to get an abortion. The policy allows for exceptions in the cases of rape, incest, and life endangerment. And of course, this is just summarized. He also signed the anti-abortion executive order, which is a federal ban on U.S. funding for international or health organizations that counsel women on family planning options that include abortion. It should be interesting to see what the rest of the week brings from Donald Trump and his administration. Yeah, did you go to the Women's March in your city if they held one, or were you going to go and you were like, for whatever reason? Do you think that they even do anything? Is it worth going? Do you think that more can be done behind the scenes versus attending a protest or a march? And yeah, I'd love to hear what you think about that in the comment section. And just a reminder, please, you don't have to agree with me, and nor would I expect everyone to agree with me. That's not how the world works. But this is my podcast, and if you get rude and nasty, I will block you from commenting. Just be respectful. That's all I ask. Quote or saying of the week. What seems to us as bitter trials are often blessings in disguise. Oscar Wilde. And this is something that I've been battling with recently. Seemingly, to me, it seems like bitter trials. And I mean, when it comes to my career and certain aspects of my life and where I see them going and what I'm working towards, and then you're just not seeing the results that you feel that you should be getting with the amount of work that you're putting into it. I've been giving into bouts of self-pity, something that I don't allow myself to do much anymore because it isn't productive. Giving into that self-pity and self-doubt can get you into a rut. And for me, and I'm sure with many of you, it can be a downward spiral into bad things, such as bouts of depression, anxiety, negative self-talk, etc. And quite frankly, nothing good can come of it. So I spent a good number of days, I'm okay now, but I spent a good number of days kind of, living in those feelings, and then I had to let it go. And I prefer for those feelings, those negative feelings, thoughts to not come back at all. When you're working towards the goal, whether it's professional, personal, whatever, and it seems that you're constantly fighting an uphill battle, a battle that at times seems to go on for years and you never seem to catch a break, and you're just tired. And I think that's where I was last week. I was just tired and kind of over it. And, you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. Like I said earlier, you're putting in the hard work, putting in the prayer, putting in the positive thinking and the positive actions, and still nothing. So yeah, that's where I was, and was because everything that I perceived to be a bad thing or not going my way, what I think I deserve has happened because I had to realize that it wasn't the best situation for me, or simply a better opportunity came along, or maybe it was a way for the universe to say, this, you shouldn't be doing this, just stop. Because I find for me, I don't like starting things and not finishing them. And even though everything is telling you this is not what you're supposed to be doing, I still feel like I have to finish things or complete it. When sometimes you just need to let things go and say that wasn't the right thing for me, even if it's not complete, and that's okay. There are a lot of things that happen in life that were not for the betterment of my life, and so you just have to accept things. I kind of got off track for a second, but anyway, the takeaway, or what I would like to think is a takeaway from that quote: what seems to us bitter trials are often blessings in disguise, is that for some of us, for whatever reason, life is just a battle for some of us, at least for the things that we really desire, and sometimes what we really need. And that can be a sucky battle that if I'm honest, I have yet to be convinced of that we need that battle. You know how some people say that life is supposed to be hard. Nothing worth anything is supposed to be easy. You have to fight for everything, from finances to a job or a career that you love, for great grades, for an amazing body, etc. I have to say I'm not really convinced. Do you have to fight for some things? Sure. But everything, in my opinion, should not be a battle or a war. So I'm kind of thinking, is it the mindset that is making things hard, or just my lot in life? I don't know, because if I've been working on changing my mindset and positive thinking, and I'm doing the work, or it doesn't matter what I do, if I'm doing everything on paper seems to be correct and doing it the right way, is that just how it's supposed to be for me? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure this stuff out. I'm kind of thinking and speaking at the same time. Do you think that life should always be hard, always be an uphill battle, or is it that life, some people are just unfortunate, that's just how it is for some people. Some people it's just easy, and other people they seem to kind of cruise through, and other people everything is a fight, even for the simple things. Leave your thoughts on that. Do we have to fight for everything, or should we have to fight for everything that we want in life? I'm curious about other people's opinions on that. What I'm grateful for this past week, this beginning of the week. Let's see. I'm grateful for the sun. We haven't had sun for a while, so it's nice to see a Monday with sun. The last few Mondays have been pretty dreary and dark and rainy, so it's nice to see sun and a little bit of warmth. I'm also grateful for another Sunday of making myself do nothing but put together a 300-piece puzzle. Although this week I didn't finish the puzzle. I started too late, but that's okay, because this Sunday, this day off, is about relaxing and doing what I want to do, which included watching some Netflix, sipping on coffee, having breakfast and lunch. And it's not exciting. Like, I didn't go to the march, and I didn't have all these brunch plans and all these plans and things to do and activities, but that's okay. I don't get energized from being around in crowds. Being around one or two people at a time is fine, but I get kind of drained if it's a lot of people and a lot of hustle and bustle, and we have to go here, we have to go there, we have to plan this. I don't like that. That's not energizing to me, and honestly I'd probably be a little miserable by the time the end of the day came, and thinking, wow, this is how I spent my day off, because it's not fun for me. So anyway, it was quiet, and that's perfect for someone who continually feels guilty when they're not doing something. So I had my day off, which is good for my mental health, but the puzzle kept my mind busy enough, and so I had the payoff of completing or almost completing something at the end of the day, and which is a good idea for any of you workaholics who feel so guilty when you're taking the day off that you need, because I think everybody needs at least one day off. Whatever day of the week works for you, pick it. But yeah, for people who it's really difficult for them to not do something and not be productive, you want to do something relaxing, and you want to feel like you've completed something, but you still want to relax. So, pick up a puzzle, there's like those adult coloring books, crossword puzzles, I don't know, spring's coming up. Maybe you can start getting your seedlings ready for your garden. So yeah, you want to do something that's not super strenuous, but will aid in your day off and your mental rehab, I guess, before you start your week again. So it's an interesting thing, I guess. Some people, their day offs consist of literally lying in bed, sleeping, for 14 hours, waking up, getting something to eat, going back to bed, watching movies, and that's fine because I've done those before. Not lately, but I've done that before. So yeah, do you think that day offs should be productive, or have a true day off where you literally do nothing, or you, maybe if you're lucky enough to do a spa day or something like that, maybe you can do, that's actually a really awesome day off, spa day. Anyway, you'll have to answer that question for yourself. What do you consider a good day off? What do you consider a good day off? Yeah, leave that in the comment section below. Thank you for tuning in to episode 55 of My Views Extended. I would love to hear feedback and comments of what you think of this podcast and the topics that I've discussed this week. Please drop your questions or opinions respectfully in the comment section. You can listen to My Views Extended on my blog, nadiadanell.com, on YouTube, where you can subscribe, like, rate, and or leave a comment, and where closed captioning is available. And now on iTunes, My Views Extended, where you can also rate and or leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe so you know when a new podcast is released. I will leave links in the show notes, and as more listening platforms are added or changed, I will let you know. Till next time, this is Nadia.